and this is the final area of the docks to be developed. This 200-acre site is now home to the BBC, who moved here in 2011, with shows such as Watchdog, Match of the Day and BBC Breakfast being filmed here. It was developed with an investment of £650 million from the Peel Group, who own the Manchester Ship Canal, having taken control of the company in 1987.
Sit and look in front. Just put down on your
Just outside the Lowry Theatre, at the end of Nine Docks, you can see the sculpture Where the Wild Things Were. The giant blades of elephant grass suggest places beyond the canal where ships sailed to and from. This sculpture celebrates the impact of the Manchester Ship Canal, a man-made waterway connecting Salford to the sea and the rest of the world. Each steel base is engraved with drawings by local children who imagine the landscape and wildlife of far-off lands. Their sense of wonder mirrors that of Salfordians who witness bananas, citrus fruits, cotton and tea arrive here from distant shores for the very first time. The striking building ahead of us is the Imperial War Museum, designed by Daniel Libeskind in the deconstructivist style. Libeskind envisaged a constellation composed of 3 interlocking shards, with each shard being a remnant of an imagined globe shattered by conflict. The museum explores the impact of modern conflict on people and society, and was opened in July 2002.
I like the color, copper color. Hello.
The large white footbridge ahead of us is Millennium Bridge. This is a 91.2 metre long vertical lift bridge, which lifts the total length of its walkway, 18 metres, in less than 3 minutes. It was constructed in 2000 at a cost of approximately £5 million.
लग रहा है ना कि स्नो माउंटेन है ना वैसे लग रहा है जैसे स्नो ships that use the canal will come to turn around before making the return journey back towards the River Mersey. It represents the main area of the docks, with entrances onto 6, 7 and 8 dock, which at its peak was the 3rd busiest port in the UK. Ships weighing up to 12,500 tonnes brought raw cotton, grain and timber, but also supplied Manchester and Salford with tea, fruit, lard, oil, petroleum, and frozen cattle from around the world. On our right, a prominent site from the canal, is Old Trafford Football Ground, home to Manchester United since 1910. Although from 1941 to 1949, the club shared main road with local rivals Manchester City as a result of Second World War bomb damage. It is one of the largest stadiums in the UK, having undergone a number of expansions in the 1990s and 2000s, but its record attendance was in 1939, when 76,962 spectators watched the FA Cup semi-final between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Grimsby Town. Part of the Manchester Ship Canal Railway, which was used to aid the construction of the canal and became the largest privately owned railway in Britain. Ahead of us is Trafford Road Swing Bridge, which was built in 1892 and is the largest and heaviest of the 7 swing bridges to be built over the canal, weighing 1,800 tons. It was hydraulically operated via a pump house, which has now been removed. A lifting wall was used to signal the swinging of the bridge, and it was swing to allow ships to navigate over the docks of the stream. As one of the few places traffic was able to pass the canal, it gave rise to the saying "Eton Bridge," when people had to wait for the bridge to close. People used this expression as an excuse for being late to work. The bridge no longer swings, having been fixed in place since 1997.
The soapworks to our left is a redevelopment of a Colgate palm oil factory, which closed in 2007, having one of the last large industrial sites to remain on this part of the canal. This was a detergent and toiletries manufacturing complex and utilised the canal to transport cargo. It is now home to TalkTalk, the first FTSE 100 company to relocate its headquarters outside of London.
The idea for the Manchester Ship Canal came about when Manchester was a thriving city at the heart of the Industrial Revolution. Originally built on the cotton trade, the Ship Canal enabled the engineering and chemical industries that supported it to be expanded and diversified, so that by 1935, Manchester was, without challenge, the first and greatest industrial city in the world. The cost of transporting goods through the port of Liverpool and aboard the railways was seen as excessive by the business community of Manchester, with goods often being cheaper to transport through the docks at Hull on the other side of the country rather than through Liverpool. As such, a canal was proposed, bypassing the Liverpool docks and bringing the sea 40 miles inland to Manchester. The building of the canal was approved by an Act of Parliament in 1885. It would require the excavation of 41 million cubic metres of earth along its 36-mile stretch, dug mostly by hand by navvies, and the construction of 5 locks able to take vessels up to 160 metres in length and 20 metres wide. It is the longest river navigation canal and remains the world's 8th longest ship canal, only slightly shorter than the Panama Canal in Central America.